Marvel has their plan, I have mine. It's been years coming. Nailed it. Avengers Infinity War. Gonna calm your mind right now, this is a spoiler-free review. No spoilers here. If I say something that you think is a spoiler, trust me, it's not. Or on the flip side of that coin, if my review comes across as vague, I'm simply trying to avoid spoilers more than usual. People have waited a decade for this movie, so I'm gonna go ahead and be like, I'm a little more hyper-aware. So there it is, I'll have a spoiler video that will come out this weekend. Until then, spoiler-free, here we go. So Avengers Infinity War is the newest Avengers movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It has officially been 10 years coming, or really 6 years coming, since we were shown Thanos at the end of the Avengers. It came out in 2012, 2018, closer to 6. But 10 years for the MCU, you can argue it's all built to this. Big baddie Thanos is on the hunt for the Infinity Stones, and the Avengers find out about that. And some people who were not Avengers, that may be Guardians of a Galaxy, point is they'll find out about it, so they all have to stop it. And that is basically what you need to know for the setup. I want to gush about Thanos right off the bat. Can I gush about Thanos right off the bat? I feel like I'm not supposed to. I should save that till later. But holy shit, Thanos is such a good villain. The CGI on Thanos is on point. Like, even the facial tics, just small facial movements that people have when they talk or react. But it's not just the performance Josh Brolin gives, it's not just the intensity. He really is a staple of how to do a great villain. That's something the MCU has been severely lacking in. If you think of the weakest part of most movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's usually, yeah, it had a weak villain. Thanos breaks that. Yes, granted, we have had many years of Thanos build-up, but I'm talking about just what you see of him in this movie. That's what makes him a great villain. It's the development, it's his character. He's not just bad guy for the sake of bad guy. This movie does what a movie needs to do to make a great villain. Is that the villain truly believes what he is doing is the best thing possible for existence. That's right, generally you think of big bad assholes in the real world or fiction. Every villain believes they are the hero of their story. That was a very important thing I was looking for in this movie. This movie had it. They just completely did Thanos right in this movie. The development for Thanos makes the development for Loki look like the development of whoever that is. I forget. And the action was cleaned up too. The Russos in their MCU movies, for the action sequences, I noticed sometimes there's that shaky cam, but I noticed they minimized that in here. Like the action sequence at the end that you've seen in the trailers, you know, just like a big crowd of things coming towards a bunch of people. That one pales in comparison. I feel like that's an action sequence that happens for the sake of action sequence. There are a couple of other action sequences, one fight in particular, I'm like, this is amazing. It's almost like they were like, that's so amazing. What to do with those? I don't know. Let's just have bugs. But in the true great action movies of modern time, I feel like the action sequences should be a byproduct of a movie that's great anyway. This movie does pull that off. Sometimes when some of the drama was going on, some things I was really invested in, I really bought it. Other times I was like, don't buy it as much as the other stuff. And I know I was really supposed to. I feel like it's what happens when you have a bunch of different directors directing a bunch of different movies that take place in the same universe. These directors want to concentrate on this, so when the payoff's supposed to happen here, it doesn't really happen as much because these two directors just kind of see the world differently, because people see the world differently. They see entertainment differently. Whether it's a consumer of entertainment or someone who's making entertainment, they're going to concentrate on different things, and that gives different tonal shifts. Am I being vague? I know, I'm supposed to be. And the cast is so big. I mean, the cast is going to be big. We know it's going to be big. I mean, it needs to be big. There's 3 phases of Marvel movies leading up to this. If it wasn't big, that would be a huge problem. It just so happens the cast is so big, maybe there is a character you want to see have their shine. It's just, they can't. There's too many people. One character in particular, I'm like, maybe they should have been in the forefront more. But they weren't, because it wasn't their movie. There's more going on than one person. But it does feel like some characters were used well, others were support characters, and then some other characters just kind of in the movie because the contract said so. There is a lot of jump around that happens because there is a lot happening. There are a lot of locations where stones may or may not be, with characters that may or may not be on Earth at this point. A lot of locations, a lot of people, so it's not like everybody who's been in an MCU movie to this point are just hanging out on Earth and they're all at the same place any given time. No, there are like 3 different groups doing different things all in the name of stopping Thanos, but that makes for a lot of jumping around. Granted, given the scenario, this much build up coming to this with this many characters, they pull it off quite well. Though sometimes just a little imperfect. But I will also give props to the fact that the tone does change based on who's on screen. Like when you see the Guardians of the Galaxy, it feels more like Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought that was great, and that's very important. Nothing in this movie feels like Thor Ragnarok though, so that's kind of still an anomaly. Guys, in the end, Avengers Infinity War was a long time coming. A decade of setup for an epic payoff that I personally dug. It's not just fan service. It doesn't throw fan service at you for the sake of fan service. There are a couple moments for sure, and a couple of moments in particular, some straight up heroic moments, got me the goosebumps. I was like, ooh, yeah. This movie is great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I will say Avengers Infinity War is worth watching and worth buying on Blu-ray. And though this review is up, I'm still doing Stardust reactions for the MCU movies leading up to it. All right, so God of War came out and I got a little behind. Played the game for 14 hours yesterday. That's not healthy. Blood clots in my legs for sure. Like 75% are there. So my Avengers Infinity War spoiler video coming this week, and gonna do a video on the Venom trailer that came out also. So much to do, so little time. All right, so Avengers Infinity War, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or if you haven't, because it is Tuesday, are you looking forward to it, and how much? Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.